Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2018 PDGA Professional Disc Golf World Championship. I'm Steve Hill, and we're coming to you from beautiful Jeffersonville, Vermont, home of this year's host, Smugglers Notch Resort. So we're all primed up. Let's tee off. In the 37 years of Pro Worlds, this is the first time it's ever been in the Green Mountain State. Why Vermont? Why not?
I feel like Vermont is a very outdoorsy state. People like to be outside, and disc golf is a sport that brings people out.
We call this the Oregon of the East Coast. This is just one of the most beautiful places. It feels like home. You look around, there's mountains everywhere.
It's one of the most beautiful times to be in Vermont. The leaves are starting to change, a little cooler.
It's the greatest time to be here, I think. And especially to come here and play disc golf on these two courses is just makes it even that much better. When you come to Vermont and watch disc golf or play disc golf, you'll really notice why the World Championships should be here. From the day that they put the first tee in Brewster, they won the World Championships.
It's in great hands here at Smugs. They got a great facility, they got great extra activities because people are going to be here for a week.
The fact that the World Championships are coming to a small state like Vermont, so in the corner of the United States, is just absolutely amazing.
We love you, Vermont. Smugglers Notch rules.
They got everything that's needed for the Worlds, and I think it's going to be the best Worlds yet.
Time will tell on that, but two-time defending world champion and three-time winner at Smugs, Ricky Wysocki, isn't the only one psyched to have Worlds played in Vermont, and specifically at Smugs.
It's been a 6-year goal since the inception of the disc golf program here at Smugglers Notch. When we broke ground on Brewster Ridge in 2012, sat down with the owner and he said, if we're going to do something, we want to be the best. An event like this puts us on the map for real, and I think now everybody from across the country and the world is going to want to come here and play, we hope. So
let's break down the game for you first-timers joining us today and ask a couple of pros how it goes.
It's like ball golf, but with frisbees and a basket. With disc golf, you have a set of discs, a driver, a mid-range, and a putter is a basic pack. And then you go to the course, you get on the tee pad, and you throw your drive.
The goal is to put these discs into a metal basket that have chains, and the chains catch the disc in the air. And the goal is to get into the basket in the least number of throws.
There are two courses at this year's Worlds, Brewster Ridge and Fox Run Meadows. To find out more about them, let's turn to a few former world champions to get the 4-1-1.
The two courses couldn't really be any different. We have Brewster, which is in the woods, beautiful course, but very technical. We have Fox Run, which is also very technical because of the OB, the way that they've really designed the hole, the way the hole looks, but much more open, big arm, got to have the long throws. So it really just goes to mentality, the way you practice, the way you prepare.
To come back up to Smugglers Notch Resort, play two of some of the most challenging courses on tour, really puts disc golfers to the test.
They're totally different styles of courses. This Fox Run course is pretty open and windy, and the Brewster course is the opposite. It's wooded and a little bit shorter technical holes. That's what makes this tournament so prestigious.
We all have to be at the top of our game and shoot really good rounds to maintain those scores at the top.
So really preparation is key when it comes to this, and then being able to go back and feed from that preparation as the round goes on.
It's definitely two different game plans. I think that's a big advantage, is having confidence in my game plan, knowing that my game plan has won here before.
It really takes somebody who's been doing this a long time to really do that at a really high level. And I think the person that can do that the best is obviously going to win this one.
The courses are clean, the players are ready, and the weather couldn't be better. So let's go to Corey Merle for the best of round one of the 2018 PDGA Pro Worlds.
We are catching up with Calvin Heimberg. The story of round one here on hole 9 does unfortunately throw out of bounds and cards the first bogey of his round, halting what was an 8-for-8 start here on Fox Run Meadows during day one. And when you back that up with an arm like this, we've got an early contender out here in Vermont.
I've been there, I was there 2015, so I've been on a lead card at Worlds before, so hopefully no nerves, but we'll see tomorrow.
Sexton.
It's good to hear Calvin is ready and poised for round 2, but he will have the likes of this man, Nate Sexton, nipping at his heels as he did come in with a 10 down, leader in the clubhouse until a late surge by Calvin, and it was due to this. The putter was on and the sidearm was dialed. He was all over the green today, always going good until a little bit of a slip up on the extremely tough par 4 hole 16.
On 16, I made bogey, but it was because I had my best drive of the whole week so far and just got aggressive there. It's kind of a tough hole. I mean, maybe the hardest hole in the course with a lot of out of bounds and the long woods tunnels.
Our final MPO player to be covered today, the returning, defending champion Ricky Wysocki, here playing at what feels like a home course as he has dominated this tournament in years past. A hot start would leave him 4 down through 6, but his lone mistake was on that tricky hole 8 as he did turn over the sidearm on his approach, throwing out of bounds and having to settle with the unfortunate bogey 5. Shifting over to the FPO side, and the story is Rebecca Cox.
Pass the bush. My only expectation was to stick to my game plan and just play my game and do what I do in the woods.
And what she does in the woods is shoot an absolutely dominant 992 rated 1 down from Brewster Ridge Golds. Rebecca is out to a 3-stroke advantage in the FPO division, largely due to her 56% fairway hits, as well as 75% scramble rate. That's doing work. Catching up with our leaders in the FPO division, like I said earlier, Rebecca Cox out to that commanding 3-stroke lead, carding the 1 down out at Brewster Ridge. But remember, we are moving over to the big bomber course, Fox Run Meadow, lined with out of bounds, and you have to think playing to the advantage of the likes of Paige Bjerkaas, Jessica Weiss, and Paige Pierce, who are all within striking distance. In the MPO division, call him Calvin Heisenberg because he was serving up criminal amounts of birdies out there. 13 of them, along with 2 bogeys, to card the 11 down and sole possession of the lead at the 2018 PDGA World Championships. Nate Sexton, Nico LaCastro, James Conrad, Paul Macbeth, Jake Lauber make up the leaderboard from there. Matt Bell, World Putting Champion, Andrew Fish, Lance Brown, all really logjammed at that 9 down. Greg Barsby, Will Schustrick, and Ricky Wysocki make up that 8 down cluster as well. We are so tight at the top here, and we cannot wait to see this unfold.
We'll be right back with more of the 2018 PDGA Pro Worlds from Smugglers Notch. Don't go away.
My name's Cody Britton, and it's a hot one out here, which is perfect because we're going to be talking about the heat. One of the great things about the heat is it gives any skill level player the ability to get it up to speed, to get tremendous amounts of glide. The rim fits well in anyone's hand. So one of the things that I love about this disc is how easily I can throw a consistent Anheuser. You can even use it to throw manicured shots through the woods. It's just an all-around phenomenal disc. Check out the heat for yourself today. You can pick one up at discraft.com or your local retailer.
XT Bullfrog. It's the latest putter from Innova. Low profile of this disc just feels great in the hand. Feels like you can get a really clean, consistent release with this disc. Gives you a good true feel, but it's got great grip. Smash it into the chains and know that it's going to catch without worrying about any blow-bys.
Welcome back to the 2018 PDGA Pro World Championships. I'm Steve Hill, coming to you from beautiful Smugglers Notch Resort in Jeffersonville, Vermont. Before we get into round 2's action, let's get to know some of the special players that make disc golf such an inviting sport to watch and play, starting with 2017 United States champion and PDGA Tour veteran, Nate Sexton.
Nate Sexton, Corvallis, Oregon. I've been a full-time professional disc golfer since about 2014. My dad and my mom played Ultimate Frisbee, which is a totally separate game, but they played that when I was very young. So I've been told that I was throwing discs on the sideline, before I could talk. So formally playing disc golf started when I was probably about 14 years old. We got a course put in Corvallis. The first one we got was in 1999, and I started playing in 2000. So even as I turned pro, starting out kind of my early years of college, I still never thought, oh, this is going to be my livelihood. But you know, the cards fell where they did, and I was able to kind of carve out a space for myself within this game, and I'm really happy that it's worked out that way. Me and Jeremy Colling team up to make Big Sexy Commentary. His name's Big Germ, and my last name's Sexton. Obviously, it works pretty easily.
Slowing things down a little bit from that hot start, but still off to an incredible round. And look at Calvin and James tied now. Wow.
I like doing it, and I also like it because we tee so late in the afternoon, 3 o'clock, you just get antsy. You know, I just want to get out there and perform. So I like having something to do as well. Living on the road is challenging but very fun. My wife is actually in medical school. She's a 4th-year medical student, so she's going to be a doctor as of May next year, and then she'll go into residency. We decided end our lease where we were renting, buy an RV, do the full thing with the family, because it was really the only time we could ever see that happening. And now I'm always home, no matter where I go, because they're with me. So I feel like I don't lose my batteries don't get drained like they used to. Even though it's sleepless nights sometimes with the baby, whatever it is, I don't have that feeling like where I'm yearning to be home and I'm sick of being out here, because I always have them there supporting me, so that's huge. I run a tournament called the Sexton Shootout. That's like a interaction for fans. They're getting a chance to come and get some autographs, get some new discs with a special Sexton stamp on them, play around and see a clinic where they can ask me some questions and learn some skills. To be the world and US champion concurrently, very few people have ever done that. So to be able to do something like that would you know, cement my legacy as, I think, one of the greatest players ever. The game has given me a lot. It's an opportunity to see the world. I mean, a chance to, I've been to every state in the lower 48. I've driven across the country more times than I would even like, but you see a lot of cool stuff. Opportunity to go to Japan, 5 or 6 trips to Europe, seeing a ton of different cultures and people and new food and all this stuff. So I don't think of myself as some big A-list celebrity, but in the right scenario, I have a lot of people who look up to me or care about what I do or what I think. You know, the chance to really, you know, have signature discs, signature bags, signature belts, you know, that kind of stuff is humbling and cool, and something that I'm really thankful to have been able to experience.
Thanks, Nate. Now let's get back to Corey Merle to give us his spin on what went down during round 2 of the 2018 PDGA Pro Worlds.
Leading off our coverage today, a man on the chase car to start the day, but would make big moves by the end. Lining up the McPro Rock 3, unleashes a silky turnover shot, put himself to about 16 feet, where he was able to knock down the birdie putt and get that game plan rolling early. Truly a tale of 2 nines, James started off incredibly, carding 9 birdies on his first 9 holes, and we are here to show them all. Now, you might notice these putts are a little short. Not this one. A 90-footer on hole 7, thank you very much. That's 7 down through 7, and there's still 2 more to go. Flipping the script to the FPO division, round 2 very well may mark the birth of a star. Bjerkaas confident in her decision to skip the fall semester to compete in the 2018 World Championships, likely a little less confident in that tee shot as it does skip scarily close to the OB. She would finish 4 down through the front 9, canning 2 outside the circle putts, but more importantly, staying OB free. She would continue the pace until hole 18. She does leave her drive a little bit wide and just skips out of bounds. The only OB stroke she would take on the day, and she does recover in style, limiting it to just the single bogey, dropping her to a 5 down overall, but more importantly, limiting the damage and solidifying the career best 10-21 rated round. On the other side of that coin was Rebecca Cox, your current leader heading into round 2, starting her round here on Fox Run Meadows with a 3-stroke advantage. A nice drive off the top does catch contact with that tree, fall out of bounds, and a missed putt does spell a double bogey on hole 1. It wasn't all bad though, she was able to recover here on hole 6. She throws the turnover shot to about 30 feet, knocks down that putt. The trouble though started again on hole 7. She did find OB off the tee, and again on this 3rd shot in the fairway. A bit turned over seemed to be the problem of the day, finding OB again on hole 8, and once again on hole 9. That is 3 holes in a row where she has found some OB strokes, but back on the saddle, she bangs a big one on hole 13 to get her right back in this. Taking a look at the full leaderboard in the FPO division, Paige Bjerkaas, like I said, holding that 6-stroke lead over Paige Pierce, Sarah Holcomb, and Rebecca Cox, all tied at 3 over par. Dropping 4 strokes behind them, Zoe Andike, Lisa Fakis, Kristen Tatar, Jessica Weiss, all tightly bunched at 7 and 8 over. Madison Walker and Erica Stitchcomb sliding in at 10 over par. And checking back in with our MPO leaders, we have Paul the Beast Macbeth at 21 down, looking to assert his dominance and reclaim his throne.
There's still a lot of disc golf to be played. Will the current leaders stay on top? You're going to have to stay with us to find out. The 2018 PDGA Pro Worlds will be right back, so don't go away.
Explorer is a very versatile fairway driver.
Nice straight flight and then a little small finish.
It holds basically any line.
This one is immediately in my bag. It's adding the distance.
Fairly overstable, high-speed driver.
And my go-to flip-to-flat 450-foot shot is now a Ballista Pro.
Welcome back to the 2018 PDGA Pro World Championships. I'm Steve Hill, and we're right on the cusp of the critical third round. That's coming right up, but first, let's get to know another special player. 2-time defending PDGA World Champion, Ricky Wysocki.
Ricky Wysocki, Fort Mill, South Carolina, with Ohio roots. When I was younger, about 15 years old, I had a neighbor that just he introduced me to it. He lived across the street. I was homeschooled. That gave me a lot more time to practice. I would do all my work on a Monday. I would do all the work for the week, and then the rest of the week I would have time to go practice. And I would play from basically sun up to sundown. I could pretty much throw a disc to the course from my house. Go home, get lunch. My mom would cook me lunch. I'd go back and play 2 or 3 more rounds. So I'd play sometimes 3-4 rounds a day. The Jenkins family they were accessible. Sharon and Leroy, they were definitely one of the role models for me. They were always there. They were always showing me that there is a tournament scene. When I first got there, I played leagues with them, and they were real supportive. I think they saw potential in me, and I'm very thankful that they kind of helped form my career.
I kind of envisioned him being able to at least get some college scholarship due to it, based on his skill sets.
But I actually tanked tryouts on purpose to just so I could go play tournaments that summer. I was like, I don't want it to take up my summer. I want to play disc golf. I want to see where it's going to take me. And I didn't really know there was a career path to be had there. And so I just knew that I had a passion for it. And I kind of was just like, all right, well, I have a passion for this. I'm going to make it work.
And it certainly was a great, fun sport, but I didn't see it as a career. My concern was not that he played disc golf, but that he was looking at it as, hey, this is what I want to sink my whole life into.
Him not okaying the fact that I was going to go out and play disc golf as a career, and so I don't really blame him for it. I think he was just looking out for my best interest. But at the same time, I knew that there was big opportunity because of how much I've worked and how much the local people at the course are telling me, yeah, you got it. If you got it, you can do it. I knew I could do it, but I had to make sure that he saw it.
He's proved me wrong 10 times over, which fortunately he did.
I've realized what it takes to be a road warrior, so to say, is what we like to call it, and get through, and I think I embrace it now. I like that lifestyle. I like traveling, I like driving, and so once you get in the groove and start, doing certain things, podcasts, there's a lot of different things you can do and listen to actually enjoy the time and not look at it as a grind.
Watching him, especially in person, you kind of get a better feel for his emotions. You see him all the time as opposed to just when he's taking a shot. So you see some of the dwelling that happens, but you also see the fist pumps that you don't see online.
I like the pressure. I feel like if I have pressure, I play better. My dad was asking me, like, what's the galleries? Does it make a difference if there's 10 people or hundreds for us? And it really doesn't make a difference, but if you add those couple extra siblings, that makes it a lot more pressure than adding the huge thousands of people. We live for the World Championships this week. As we practice, we prepare, we come here week or two early to come practice. So just being in the hunt like I am this week, that's what I live for. The biggest thing that disc golf's given me is the experiences and traveling the world, meeting new people, and sharing my knowledge of the sport. I was driving down the highway and some guy was like flagging me down. He's like, hey, come on, we should stop, get some dinner. And so we pulled off and stopped and he bought me dinner. And that wasn't even the first time that's happened. So it's really cool. People they love it. And if you see my van on the road, flag me down and maybe we can grab a bite.
Sounds like a pretty good deal to me, Rick. And speaking of good deals, Corey Merle is back with the best deals that went down in round 3. Take it away, Corey.
Coming into the day, it was anyone's game, but 3 men would rise to the occasion. Paul Macbeth, Paul Ulibarri, and Greg Barsby, all on the lead card, and all would look to make their bid to become the 2018 World Champion. It looked as if McBeast mode was activated early as he would go lights out through the first 7 holes. Here he is on hole 3, piping that rock 3 up the gut for the easy 2. Catching back with Paul here on hole 5, he throws that Luster Firebird wide right, drawing it all the way back in. That's about 7 feet. Macbeth was dialed and so was Ulibarri, but unfortunately he would find trouble off the tee here on the par 5 hole 7, going out of bounds on his first shot, and here again on the 3rd shot, he would settle with the double bogey 7. Now, Macbeth would find some trouble eventually here on hole 8, overcooks the sidearm as we saw Ricky Wysocki do during our round 1 coverage. Ooh, and shorts the putt on hole 9, and that is going to open the door for the rest of us. Greg Barsby here hitting the huge putt on hole 9. And again on hole 10, Uli on hole 12, putting his foot down and saying, I'm not going anywhere. Macbeth with the outside the circle hit on the tough par 3 hole 13, but not to be outdone, Uli says, me too. Macbeth would find more trouble though on 14 as he clips the tree, falls out of bounds, and will drop 2 strokes to both Ulibarri and Barsby as they card their birdie 2s, while he is saddled with the lowly bogey. Heading to the woods in the FPO division, Paige Bjerkaas looks to continue her march towards her first World Championship. Paige didn't have her best stuff, but she did rally to keep it together, hitting that one on hole 1, this one on hole 10 to secure par. That one's for birdie though on the tough par 4 hole 11 where she had gone putter. Cashing in the easy birdie on hole 15. That hole is so tough. Here she is playing hole 17, absolutely picture perfect. Paige ends round 3 with a 5-stroke advantage over the field, looking to maintain over on the more open Fox Run come round 4. Checking in on our round 3 leaderboard, Paige Bjerkaas still paces the field, 5 strokes ahead of Sarah Holcomb, who maintains her 3-stroke advantage over Rebecca Cox, and newcomer to the lead card Kristen Tatar, 2 strokes behind her at 11 over par. Paige Pierce drops to the chase card, and she'll join Jessica Weiss, Zoe Andike, and Lisa Fakis, who stands 17 over, and Madison Walker, Erica Stitchcomb, and Holly Finley round out our top 10, heading into round 4. Checking back in with our MPO division, Greg Barsby leads the field 1 stroke over Paul Ulibarri, 2 strokes over Josh Anton, and 4 strokes over Nico LaCastro on an action-packed lead card.
She played tough through the first 2 rounds, but who exactly is Rebecca Cox? Well, we had the pleasure of meeting her. Now you will too.
Rebecca Cox, Cincinnati, Ohio. Even when I was like a baby, he would take me to the course and push me around in a little, little buggy and play, and that's how, he would spend time with me sometimes. When I was 8 years old is when he actually started teaching me how to play, and that's when I really started to get into it. I started to play in like junior course challenges when I was a kid. It would just be a bunch of little kids playing, but I also was allowed to play in like, a men's division, and I'd play with these men, and sometimes, I'd beat some of them, and, and that's when I started to realize, yeah, I'm starting to get good at this. I have a big community of disc golfers back home who support me and, love seeing me succeed. But I also make friends on the road. It gets a little lonely, especially on those like double-digit hour drives where, it's just you and you have to stop and sleep, and it takes longer. But, once you get to a tournament, you see people you know all the time and friends that you see or haven't seen in months. I think it's really cool because sometimes I go to tournaments and I have little kids come up to me and, you know, some of them are black and they're like, hey, you know, I love watching you, and that's super, super cool because I never had someone who looked like me playing disc golf. I think once disc golf starts to become more mainstream, then it'll definitely start to be introduced into different communities, but other than that, I just think it's just a matter of time. I had no expectations, like, oh yeah, you know, top 5, top 10, that would be nice, you know, that was just a general goal in my head, but never did I ever think it would be possible or even like at stake on the last day that I would even be, you know, competing for #1. It's important to me, but I'm not gonna be kicking myself if I don't win. I don't really have like a plan B or anything to fall back on, so I can kind of just go, you know, buck wild with this and see where it takes me. I'm Rebecca Cox. Disc golf is my life, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon.
And neither do we. It's a tight race to the top, so stay tuned. The 2018 PDGA Pro Worlds will be right back.
Today, we're talking about the Buzz OS. The Buzz OS is a more overstable version of our flagship mid-range, the Buzz. When you're facing a headwind, need a straight shot with a hard finish, or want to throw a forehand approach, the Buzz OS is perfect. I know that even in the toughest headwind, I can throw it hard, it won't turn over, and it's going to consistently fade back into the fairway every time. Pick one up at discraft.com or from your local disc golf retailer.
Welcome back to the 2018 PDGA Pro World Championships. I'm Steve Hill, and we're coming around the bend into round 4. One of the players making a move up the ranks is the women's player that all others are chasing, 4-time PDGA World Champion Paige Pierce.
Paige Pierce, Plano, Texas. I went out with my dad when I was about 4. And it was kind of like our father-daughter time on the weekends. And by the time I was about 8, I played my first tournament in the junior division. And when I was about 16 and I started playing professional tournaments in Texas, I was playing against Des Redding, one of the greatest women golfers of all time. She's a 3-time world champion. You know, occasionally in a round I would beat her. But for a tournament, it was hard to beat her. Then came a time when I would beat her in tournaments. And I knew, like, as time went on and on, that I thought I was capable. As a touring professional, I travel from about middle of January to just after Halloween in November. And yeah, I miss my family a lot. You definitely miss that. But luckily, you know, 2018, we have telephones, we have Skype and all this stuff, and, you know, just keeping in touch with my family, it's definitely really important to me. This off season, I spent most of my time renovating a Ford Transit van with my stepdad and my dad. It was really cool to have my entire family in one spot every weekend. It was honestly the best off season of my life, just both sides of my family coming together to finalize this project for me to go on the road on 2018, and now I'm living in what I call Vanna Kendrick. And it's nice to just have my home with me wherever I go. To unwind, it's just to kind of sit with my friends and do something competitive, you know, to challenge, you know, whoever it is, but just kind of laugh amongst it. And I think that's why I love disc golf so much. It's all these friends that I've created over the years that, you know, have become family to me. Like, how often do you have your family sitting with you at your desk job, you know, like cheering you on, you're sending out emails or something, and they're sitting behind you like, yeah, you got that email, like, kill it. But you know, they're clapping behind you, just cheering you on, and it means a lot to me. You know, females have this tendency to want to be pretty and to want to, you know, fit this mold that society has built us. And I think, you know, if you have this desire in your heart to push those limits, and you have to, you know, do what your body was made to do and let it compete. I think it's time that we bond together and just push each other. We have the same skills that the men have, and we're ready to show the world. You know, it's a goal of mine, absolutely, to be the highest world title holder of all time. And so I need 2 more to get there. It doesn't matter if I win this world title to anybody else. It's more to me. And so I just need to just go have fun with it and throw the shots that I know I'm capable of, and whatever comes will come. I don't know what I would be doing if I wasn't playing disc golf. Even when I throw a bad shot, I know I was made to do this. I know I love it so much with every fiber in my being, you know. I am made to do this, and honestly, I can't see going another direction.
Neither can we, Paige. Neither can we. And as we turn back to Corey Merle for round 4 action, let's note that Paige Pierce is coming on fierce.
Flipping it over to the FPO side, Paige Bjerkaas entered the day with 5 strokes to spare, and she would need them all early. Turning this one over off the tee on 1, going out of bounds, and this uncharacteristic turnover off the drop zone, coupled with a missed putt, and that is a double bogey 6 to start. Here she is on 13, sending out a beautiful shot and an even better putt. With strokes to spare at the end, she got flashy and almost throws one in, settling with the tap-in par. With Paige Pierce within striking distance, we asked Bjerkaas her plan to prepare for the biggest round of her career.
No idea. I'll probably do some putting tonight since I missed so many shorties. But again, stick to the game plan. I mean, Paige played great and she shot 2 under, and my goal's even. So if I can shoot even tomorrow and she shoots 2 under, I still win. You know? So again, stick to the game plan.
No game plan is safe though when Pierce is on, as she made up 7 strokes during Saturday's moving day and sits poised to take Bjerkaas to the limit as a veteran presence who's been here before. Your leader entering round 1, Greg Barsby, would look to continue his push towards his first world championship. Hole 1 though would find trouble right off the bat. A quick kick to the right would set up this tough upshot, but well executed and able to put in the putt to save par. Clean after that, it was hole 4 where he joins the huge putt, and it was off from there. Another big one here on hole 7. But maybe the most impressive shot of the day, Greg's drive on 11, getting it all the way pin high left side. Ooh, the aggressive run doesn't pay off, but is able to catch the comebacker. And another one here on hole 12 to keep the ball rolling. You heard Greg mention him, James Conrad, absolutely at home in the woods, looking to make his push towards lead card on Sunday. A great tee shot, sets up the uncharacteristic miss from James. But on hole 4, puts down a big one to get it back on track. Setting the stage for an epic conclusion, our MPO leaderboard reads Greg Barsby's name at the top.
It's no accident that this most prestigious competition in disc golf is being played at Smugglers Notch. Because up here in the Green Mountains, the ringing of basket chains aren't the only sweet sounds to be heard.
Wasting my time. Oh, baby, can you feel it? I just gotta know. I've been trying to make it happen, but you always take it slow. And if you don't wanna love me, maybe you should let me go. I'm so sick of all these labels, I can throw it.
one round left. Will our leaders stay on top and capture their first big win, or will the cagey veterans step right in? Find out when the 2018 PDGA Pro Worlds returns.
For me, it's time with my friends.
For me, it's a walk in the park.
For me, it's my job.
For me, it's fun.
Welcome back to the 2018 PDGA Pro World Championships. I'm Steve Hill, and we're in the home stretch going into the final round. In the women's division, everyone knows four-time world champion Paige Pierce. But during this year's Worlds, there's a new Paige in the books.
Paige Bjerkaas, Emporia, Kansas. So my parents discovered the sport in 1996, which was the year I was born. So I've been playing a while. They took me out when I was really young. My brother, my dad, and I would take the public, transportation in Denver, where I grew up, to the nearest course, and we would play almost every day. A 10-year-old girl throwing a disc, I was not very good at it. I won some good amateur tournaments, but I've never won like a big tournament competing with Paige, Kat, Sarah. I know I'm due for a big one, and Worlds is the best one to win. When we're together, we usually just kind of talk and catch up. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes on the road that I don't tell them about on the phone because, we're busy talking about disc golf. But one of my favorite things to do with my parents is play cards. Any card game. My favorite game is gin, but we'll play like Uno, and in the Uno game, I am most competitive. My dad likes to give me flack, and he kind of jokes around, but I'm serious. I'm like, I'm gonna beat you. I hate when I lose to Dad. I mean, I know they watch the live scoring, but it's nice to talk it out with my dad and my mom because they, let me know, oh, you did fine. Or I talk to them about some of the mistakes that I made, and they kind of help me with that. But it's awesome to have them cheering for me and rooting me on. And they always say the same thing to me. They say, whether you're first place or you're last place, we're so proud of you, we love you, and we support you. So I love when they say that. My favorite part about disc golf is the camaraderie and the family. I've been able to explore the country and kind of see what the world has to offer. I've met teachers, I've met doctors, I've met kids, I've met, old people. There's just such a variety, and you get to just interact with new people. I've just met the nicest people playing disc golf and made these connections that I would not have made anywhere else. So I'm attending Emporia State University in Emporia, Kansas, and I'm majoring in elementary education and minoring in math. I have 2 years left. The degree is for backup, in case I injure myself, or say I tour for 10 years, I'll win a few world titles, and then I'm like, you know what, I'm done, I want to settle down. I'll have that degree, and I can make a decent living. I think it would give me the confidence to keep going and to know I made the right decision to continue to play disc golf and to really push myself. I mean, I want to continue. I want to have multiple world titles for sure. That's definitely the goal, to get as many as I possibly can. So just if I keep doing what I'm doing, I think I'm on track for a 10, 15, 20-year career.
And who knows? Today may just be her day. So why don't we get right back to Corey Merle for final round action.
Our leader entering round 5 here at the 2018 PDGA Pro World Championships, Greg Barsby, would feel the pressure early. Here he is turning his drive over on 1, and here on 4, leaving it a bit off the mark, but is able to right the ship with the big birdie putt. While Greg got off to a bit of a slow start, this man did not. Josh Anton was here to play from hole 1, cashing the big putt on hole 1, the big putt on hole 2, birdieing 3, 4, and here he is throwing the great hyzer on hole 5. That is a 5 for 5 start. I'll tell you who does though. This man, sitting on the chase card, Paul Macbeth. You could tell he was fired up for number 5 early. Under the bucket on 1, big putts on 3 and 5. He was in complete command early on today. Here he is driving on the par 5-7 and converting the birdie 4. Greg Barsby converting on the birdie putt here on the par 4-11. Josh Anton firing right back with the birdie putt here on 12. And we got a battle, folks. Both Barsby and Anton would birdie 15, leading us to the most difficult hole on the course, par 4, hole 16. Both would throw their drives up the middle, and Barsby puts his next to the basket. Anton follows suit. Greg unable to convert the birdie, and you know Anton's licking his chops. That went from a 2-stroke lead down to 1 stroke. Switching over to our FPO division, and from one championship run to another. Paige Bjerkaas, your leader, entering rounds 3, 4, and 5, would look to continue that, but she would have some trouble on her hands. Paige Pierce, 4-time world champion, would be looking to get aggressive early. She has strokes to make up, but that would come back to bite her early, finding out of bounds off the drive and missing the putt on 1. That's a bogey and another stroke to make up. Paige Bjerkaas was dialed, though, hitting this putt for birdie on hole 4.
Which Paige will come out on top? And which of our 3 men's leaders will take home the PDGA's most coveted prize? All the answers when the 2018 PDGA Pro Worlds from Smugglers Notch continues.
The Discover Pack is the perfect starter bag for all your disc golf adventures. We've designed it to fit all your essentials in a lightweight and easy to carry bag that fits your lifestyle. It features a 15-disc main compartment along with an adjustable drink holder, a side Velcro pocket for your scorecard, an easy access top pocket for your valuables, or for your putter. It's never been easier to carry your gear in style, so head on over to your favorite Innova retailer and pick yours up today.
Welcome back to the final holes of the 2018 PDGA Pro World Championships. I'm Steve Hill, and let's get right back to business. First, in the women's division, where Paige Bjerkaas is keeping the competition at arm's length. Can Paige Pierce catch her? Corey Merle has the call.
Pierce would not go down without a fight, though. Here she is on the tough par 3, hole 9, absolutely puring the drive up the middle. She would find a turkey on holes 8, 9, and 10, but Bjerkaas would not let off. Here she is throwing the perfect putter turnover and parking the par 3, hole 10. With strokes to spare, she's able to air it out here on the 18th tee, and I am so proud to announce your 2018 FPO World Champion, Paige Bjerkaas. Taking a look at our final leaderboard here, Paige Bjerkaas with that 6-stroke victory over page number 2. This time it's Pierce. Jessica Weiss coming in at 3rd after a very impressive final round, tying with Sarah Holcomb, 4 strokes over Rebecca Cox, rounding out our top 5.
Now to the much tighter race in the open field, where fan favorite Greg Barsby has a 2-stroke lead with 2 holes left to play. Bring us home, Corey.
With OB all over the place, no better feeling than the safety net of a 2-stroke lead. Getting extra flirty with that left side. The crowd loves it as Greg drops inbounds and sits poised for an easy layup win. The sidearm lands to circle's edge with no reason to run it. He will lay up, and I will announce your 2018 World Champion, Greg Barsby.
pushing for me. I could really feel it today. It finally happened. I finally got a great one. I got the best disc golf fans in the world. I really feel it today.
Before we say goodbye, let's meet up again with our profile players to get their parting thoughts on the 2018 PDGA Pro Worlds.
If somebody's clicking on all cylinders, you're going to lose contact with them pretty quick if you throw a pretty bad round. So, some point during round 3, I could be pretty assured that I was not going to be world champion, but I tried to scrap and keep going. But I would say, great worlds. Facility was fantastic. Weather was fantastic. I got no excuse. I just didn't play good, but I had a great time.
I felt some flashes of my form from back in 2017 that I won the World Championships, but to win this tournament, you had to play all 5 solid rounds, and I just played 3 or 4 solid rounds and a couple of mediocre rounds, and that's not going to cut it.
I mean, I thought I played pretty well this weekend, but if anything, I'm just really happy for Paige. She really deserved it. She's so sweet. I'm so happy for her.
She played amazing. You know, she made all the putts coming down the stretch. Even if I was right there pushing with her, she was making the putts and wasn't really making mistakes. So I would say it was definitely her week, and you know, I'm very happy for her.
Yeah, it was just awesome. And to have my mom came running at me, screaming in excitement. My dad came, and we're all hugging and crying, and this is something I've worked for years, and it is just everything I ever imagined it would be. And I've been imagining winning Worlds since I was 10, so it couldn't have been more perfect.
Congratulations to Paige Bjerkaas and Greg Barsby, your 2018 PDGA Pro World Champions. For everyone here at Smugglers Notch and at the PDGA, I'm Steve Hill. So long, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next year in Peoria, Illinois for the 2019 Pro Worlds. Until then, make sure to stay under par.